ChatGPT is one of the fastest growing technologies in history. Millions of people use it every day to write essays, solve math problems, generate images, and even help build businesses. But here's the surprising part. ChatGPT doesn't actually know anything. It doesn't think like a human. So how can it answer almost any question? Let's break it down. What is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is what's called a large language model, or LLM. Instead of being programmed with every possible answer, it learns patterns from an enormous amount of text. During training, it analyzes books, articles, websites, conversations, technical documents, and countless other examples of human writing. The goal isn't to memorize everything. The goal is to understand the relationships between words, sentences, and ideas. Think of it as reading an unimaginably large library, not to remember every page, but to recognize how language works. During training, ChatGPT isn't being taught facts one by one. Instead, it's repeatedly asked to predict the next word in a sentence. For example, the sky is. It learns that blue is usually the most likely next word. Then it keeps doing this, billions, then trillions of times. Every prediction slightly adjusts the model. Eventually, it becomes incredibly good at recognizing patterns in human language. What happens when you ask a question? Let's say you ask, why is the sky blue? ChatGPT doesn't search Google. It doesn't browse through a database. Instead, it looks at every word you've written and predicts what the most likely next word should be. Then it predicts the next. Then the next, one word at a time. This happens incredibly quickly, so quickly that it feels like someone is typing back to you in real time. Why does it sometimes get things wrong? Here's something important. Because ChatGPT predicts words instead of verifying facts, it can sometimes generate information that sounds completely believable but isn't true. This is known as an AI hallucination. It's one of the biggest challenges facing modern AI. That's why you should always verify important information, especially when it involves medicine, finance, or legal advice. Why is it so fast? The reason ChatGPT feels almost instant is because thousands of powerful computer chips called GPUs work together to perform billions of calculations every second. These massive data centers process your request, generate predictions, and send the answer back in just moments. It's one of the largest computing systems ever built. ChatGPT isn't magic. It doesn't think like a human. It predicts language using patterns learned from an enormous amount of text. And while it's already changing education, business, and software development, we're still only at the beginning of the AI revolution. If you enjoyed this explanation and want technology broken down in a simple way, subscribe to Teach Me Techno.